This is from CNBC. Assassin's Creed Shadows maker Ubisoft plunges 18% as outlook fails to impress. The stock crashed hard today, and that is an impressive feat for a stock that has been basically crashing down for the better part of the past couple years. Losing nearly 20% of a value of a company that's already in the dumpster is impressive, to say the least. But don't worry, guys, because we'll get to some people coping about it really soon. And those people that were coping about it are mysteriously silent today after this news came out. You know, after researching the information that I tried to talk about in the previous video about this. Ubisoft, which is behind the popular Assassin's Creed game franchise, reported a 20.5% drop in net bookings for the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2025. Shares of the French game developer fell as much as 18% today. That was Thursday morning. The firm plans to form a new subsidiary, part owned by tech giant Tencent, which will focus on its key Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six franchises. It's stuff like this where I'm like, do these investors that have money in this company, are they waiting for a quarterly earnings to find out about this stuff? Because how are any of them even surprised? Shares of Ubisoft sank 18% on Tuesday after the French game firm reported full-year earnings that disappointed investors. Ubisoft reported 20.5% drop in net bookings fiscal year ending March 31st, 2025, as a strong performance of the company's latest Assassin's Creed game did little to boost its full-year sales, which, again, I press X for doubt on. Yeah, guys, it's a strong performance. We're just losing money everywhere. Like, relative to what? Relative to previous Assassin's Creed games? Maybe. But if you're spending 20 times the amount on making a game than the previous Assassin's Creed game, and you sell double the amount of copies, you're still losing 18 times the amount of money. My math is a little funny, but it's somewhere in the general area of you don't want to spend more than what you're bringing in. And by saying it's a strong performer, it doesn't actually mean anything. Assassin's Creed Shadows was released in March following 2 consecutive delays. Ubisoft cited lower than expected partnerships. The hell does that mean? They think people were going to like license out their games and pay them money to create a game with them or something? For the decline in net bookings, which totaled 1.85 billion euros, or around $2.1 billion. The company also reported an operating loss of 15.1 million euros for the year. The game maker's full year 2025-2026 outlook also failed to impress. The firm said it sees net bookings for the current fiscal year being, quote unquote, stable year on year, and that it expects to break even on a non-IFRS operating income basis. And here is what I was talking about when I covered this previously. This is assuming that you can trust their word, and their word is shit. Every time they've said, oh, the community sentiment is positive, we expect sales to be this, or this is going to happen based off of the stable year on year. It never happens. It never happens. They might have the most incompetent people running the numbers there, or they're straight up liars. But either way, the truth is in the numbers that Ubisoft cannot make them work. That's the problem. That's why they're going under. Allegedly. Ubisoft shares closed down 18.32% at a price of €9.55, or however you say, 9.55 euros. That's under 10 euros, guys. Under 10 euros for a company that was valued in the hundreds of dollars just a couple of years ago? Pretty wild drop. Company shares have lost almost 60% of their value in the past 12 months. And it's even more than that, by the way, if you pull the chart back even further. This is like making it sound not as bad as it really is. I think it's lost like 86 or 92% in the past 5 years. Matt Stanford says that's what, about $11 US? Yeah, something like that. As the firm faced financial struggles, development hurdles, and underperformance of some of its key titles. So, some read all. In March, Ubisoft revealed plans to form a new gaming subsidiary, part owned by Chinese tech giant Tencent. The new unit will be responsible for developing and publishing its top game franchises, including Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, which we talked about this in the other video as well. And this is something that's pissing off a lot of the investors because it's basically a life raft to save the Guillemot family, to save these franchises and let the investment in Ubisoft proper burn to the ground. Tencent will invest 1.16 billion euros into the subsidiary. And I can't believe that the governments are approving this. Like, this deal should not be allowed to go through. They should not be legally allowed to form another company while their current company is in debt, in hundreds of $1 million in debt. That should not be legal. This is insanity right now. Like, if it comes out like 5 or 10 years from now that some politicians in Canada were getting, we'll just say, their palms greased by people in China, I'd be like, yeah, I kind of expected that to be what happened. I wouldn't be surprised at all because this deal makes no legal sense. Giving it a 25% stake. Ubisoft will retain majority ownership and earn royalties on sales related to its key franchises. The game maker said Wednesday that it expects the deal to conclude by the end of 2025 if it doesn't get stopped by politics. So this is where we're at right now. And like I said, based off of just the earnings call and the reading through the net bookings and everything, just a very brief, ever so brief. It took me like 10, 15 minutes for the summary of it and reading through it. And I was like, my summary of what I've gathered is simply, they are completely effed. That's what I got out of it. So when I went to X and I saw, what was that, Newman guy that was like posting, pretending like, oh, it's the second best release in the Assassin's Creed franchise and one of the best performers on PlayStation Network. I'm like, these numbers, these words don't mean anything. They're not numbers. They're not like financial. They're just like, hey, a lot of people are playing it or touching it somehow. That doesn't mean they're making money from it. That's the biggest problem, especially if you're spending upwards of, allegedly, I've heard rumors of upwards of $800 million on this game, which I really hope that's wrong because after Skull and Bones, whoa, like Ubisoft, holy crap. Upwards of allegedly $800 million on putting Assassin's Creed Shadows together. And I don't want to believe it, but I kind of do. With a 2+ hour credit roll, there's a lot of salaries to be paid and there's a lot of marketing to be done. And the game did okay, I guess. I mean, for a game release, like if it's just like a generic game, I guess it's fine. Attached to the Assassin's Creed name, it probably, I guess, if I were to guess, did the very average of what they'd expect from it. But they needed this game to blow doors. Like, what they spent on it makes absolutely no sense. This is insanity if the allegations of the price are true. And based off of the stock price, the net booking dropping, and the sentiment, we'll just say, that they're giving investors, it's not something that I would be excited for holding my breath on. And this is Ubisoft today. Not great, Bob. Not great. This is 5 days, so we can see the massive drop today, which is wild because it brings it back to basically what it was a month ago. Almost. It was really low a month ago. After, I think that was right when Assassin's Creed Shadows released, right around there, was it? And then year to date, 1 year, look at this. They're like down 60% in a year. Yep. What's the 5 year? Look at this. from 2021 until right now. Oh, let me go to the peak, the very peak. It's down 75 euros or almost 89%. I'm going to round that 89% up to 90% and say that this stock has dropped 90% in give or take the last 5 years. 90% of a stock drop. They are DOA. The company is done, right? But that doesn't stop people like Mighty Queef from reposting McDizzle, trying to get an own on the chuds yesterday and looking like complete jackasses. And Zephyr's new information. Assassin's Creed Shadows has excelled in both critical reception with a critic score of 81 out of 100 and commercial sales, selling 3 million units the first week. These people are retarded. They never announced sales figures. That was 3 million people engaged. Holy shit. Are they retarded or are they spreading misinformation on purpose? I don't know what's worse. But now we have McDizzle saying, is this the worst news for Grums? Which McDizzle has hardcore Grums derangement syndrome. You could even argue he has Smash derangement syndrome as well. Assassin's Creed Shadows exceeded Ubisoft's commercial estimates and was a success for Ubisoft. Lol. And Mighty Queef reposting it. And then Mighty Queef posting, because he also has Grum's derangement syndrome. Were we misled? And I don't know what's worse. This getting 842 likes or this getting 5,000 likes. Or the people that are actually liking it because they're just excited to see someone they don't like be proven wrong. Where it's like, they don't even care if the information is right or wrong. They just want to see the people they don't like fail. That's insane to me. Credit to McDizzle, Zephyrus, and Mighty Queef for keeping their tweets up because, my goodness, this is embarrassing. Because all you needed to do was look at the earnings call. It's insane to me that they said these things. Like, imagine taking investment advice from these people. They're like, oh my God, look, we own the chuds, guys. We totally own the chuds. Look at this. We're gonna make so much money. Yeah. Oh, no. You know who never gets fooled by shit? When they read earnings reports? Investors. Oh, man. But I'll leave that there. I just thought that was wild that these people are running with that and thinking that they finally got an own on the chuds. It's like, no, guys. Even if the game sold average, that doesn't mean it's a success. Even if it sold above average, which I would argue I don't think it did, but even if it sold above average, that doesn't mean it turned a profit. In fact, they could still be in hundreds of millions of dollars of debt. Doesn't matter.